Howdy, howdy, folks. Welcome to this Easy Council mini course on installing and mitigating Linux rootkits. All right, so let's take a quick overview of our course. So we're going to start out talking about operating systems and rootkits. We're going to talk about what rootkits are and why they're a threat in every environment. Then we're going to move on to how to compromise Linux with a rootkit. We're going to get undetected root access on a Linux system and then install a rootkit. After that, we're going to talk about detecting rootkits. We're going to look at 3 different common rootkit detecting programs, and we're going to see if we can actually detect a rootkit. And we're going to see if they're successful or if they might be providing a little bit of false hope when it comes to security. Then we're going to talk about monitoring our Linux systems using standard tools. We're not going to do anything fancy here. We're just going to use some tools that are built into your Linux distro. Finally, we're going to talk about securing Linux, because security should never just be an afterthought. It should be an integral part of your operations. It should be an integral part of your network design. For course prerequisites, you want to have a knowledge of basic command line usage. So just know your way around the bash shell, basically. You want a host computer that's capable of running a virtual machine. Now, be aware, if you have a machine that has a Intel Core i3 or a Core i5 processor, I don't know about the new ones, but some of the older ones could not run virtual machines because they don't have the hardware acceleration that is necessary. But if you have a Core i7 or Ryzen or even an old Core 2 quad, they'll do just fine for you. But it's just those Core i3s and Core i5s, or at least the older ones, which might cause you a problem. And you don't need to have a whole lot of memory or drive space on your host machine, because we're not going to do anything real fancy here. We're just going to basically do just a really, really bare bones virtual machine, and it won't take much at all in resources. The host machine can be running Linux, Mac OS, or Windows, doesn't matter. And the virtualization must be enabled in the host machine's BIOS. We're going to use VirtualBox for our virtualization program, and you will want a Rocky Linux ISO file to create the virtual machine. And really that's it. As I said, nothing fancy, nothing difficult here. It's just going to be a very, very simple course with very simple requirements. So, with all that out of the way, let's get with it in section 1, where we'll talk about operating systems and rootkits.